It was a hugely emotional day as friends, family members, journalists and the president amassed on the tarmac of Kiev's main airport to see this plane arrive, carrying 35 Ukrainian political prisoners freed by Russia in a prisoner swap deal. The most famous among them, Oleg Sentsov, a filmmaker who staged a 145-day hunger strike while in captivity. Reunited with his daughter, he took his time before speaking.
Hello everyone, what a great day this is. Me and the guys are very happy to be back in our homeland.
Yet Sentsov cannot return to his home region, Crimea. The peninsula is still occupied by Russia, which is still holding dozens of Crimeans, Ukrainian citizens, in detention. A lawyer for some of them travelled to Kiev recently to draw attention to their plight, handing journalists a list with 86 names on it.
Most of these people, though not all of them, are Crimean Tatars.
Ladin says Russia cracks down hard on any dissent over its rule in Crimea.
Anyone who, in whatever way and for whatever reason, criticizes the authorities sooner or later sees a criminal case brought against them. Crimean Tatars are getting 12, 13, even 17-year jail terms just for things they say in private conversations.
When so many remain in captivity, some have said Ukraine paid too high a price to secure the release of just 35 prisoners. Among those handed over to Russia in the exchange was a key suspect in the downing of Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 in 2014, Volodymyr Zelensky, a Ukrainian citizen and separatist. Those investigating the tragedy, which killed 298 people, more than half of them Dutch, were not happy about his release. They say it deprives them of what could have been crucial testimony proving Russia's guilt. Kati Piri led a group of 40 MEPs in a bid to persuade Ukraine's President Zelensky not to release Zelensky. In vain.
You cannot play a cynical game where you don't look at justice being done against criminals, against people who deserve to be punished in an international court. You cannot have a tit for tat. And this is, I think, where Zelensky clearly chose for a short-term popularity contest in Ukraine. But in the long term, I'm not sure if it makes his position in the international community and vis-à-vis Moscow very much stronger.
Zelensky's team see things differently. They believe the successful prisoner swap can provide momentum for their new proactive approach to ending the conflict.
President Zelensky said that he would focus first on solving humanitarian problems, because it is just much more difficult to those who oppose it to actually oppose it. You know, it's something that everybody should say, yes, we need to resolve humanitarian issues. And so one of those were solving the problem of building the bridge in Stanitsa Luganska.
Stanitsa Luhanska is currently the only part of Luhansk region where people can cross between the area occupied by Russian-backed separatists and government-held territory. They have to make the crossing on foot, since this bridge was blown up in early 2015. Ukraine has now withdrawn heavy weaponry from the area and removed landmines. With international observers following the process, it's preparing to first set up a temporary bridge and then repair the main one. Repairing the bridge itself requires the other side to remove its defences as well. But while Russia's proxies dragged their feet, the Ukrainian side set to work preparing the terrain to show it meant business. Already the road has been widened and a bus now runs along the kilometre or so between the bridge and the Ukrainian border checkpoint.
The bus really is something we can thank Zelensky for. At least he cares a little bit about Ukrainian people, so that we might actually feel like human beings.
It seems Zelensky has started to do something, but what he's doing exactly and whether he'll finish it, we'll see.
Initially, the forces on the other side seemed more keen on putting up Luhansk People's Republic flags than preparing for reconstruction work. But the latest reports say they are keeping up their side of the bargain. In the centre of town, though, these aid workers are sceptical about the plan.
It all looks somehow staged. The reality is that the war will not end until the Russian forces are withdrawn from all the areas that are currently outside Ukrainian government control. And that won't happen until the Kremlin orders it.
Zaitsev fears that with both the prisoner swap and the withdrawal of heavy weaponry from this frontline town, Zelensky is making too many concessions.
The risk remains that this territory could be taken over by the separatists if that would suit the Kremlin at some point in the future. And the Kremlin will use whatever opportunities are available to put pressure on Ukraine, on certain people, and on the international community.
With Zelensky already planning troop withdrawals from other areas, residents of Stanitsa Luhanska and the whole of the war-torn Donbas can only hope that his critics are wrong.